Morning everyone, Gordy here from Gordy's Heirlooms. Today we're going to talk about different varieties, types, structures of different heirloom tomatoes, and also discuss the difference between heirloom tomato and a hybrid tomato. And a lot of people already know what the difference is, but my take is basically the same. They're open pollinated, they're passed down through generations, and been safe. I think it was before 1950. They called it a classic heirloom. But I wanted to explain to you why I buy from different purveyors my seeds, and the reason I do that is because, one, I want to give them all business. Two, I like to see if there's tomato seeds grow any different than tomato seeds from, say, Baker Creek or Gurney's or Johnny's. And the reason I say that is because sometimes you'll plant them and they won't look all the same. They won't have the same flavor. They don't have the same taste. But once you find the one you want, you could actually save those seeds. I'm not a great big seed saver. I have saved some seeds, but most often I buy my heirloom tomato seeds. However, Dr. Seaman, my dentist, who I mentioned earlier, who is a cheesemaker, he has a variety from his dad that his dad has given him throughout the years and has grown since like 1950. And his dad lives in Illinois, and he was a Boeing or a McDonnell Douglas engineer on the going to the moon in 1969, so he's a smart guy. But these Rutgers are really, really good. They're really proficient. I have some growing. I can't wait to plant those. I had them last year from his garden. They were really good. But one thing I like to do is talk about determinate and indeterminate. Most people know what that is. It deals with heirloom tomatoes. A determinate tomato is one that grows usually in a bush type, and pretty much all the fruit comes ripe at the same time. For example, Napoli's or a paste tomato from Italy. And the reason they do that is that they can can those tomatoes. They can get bunches and bunches and bunches of those and process them, can them. You don't have to do 20 quarts at one time. You can do 100 quarts at one time. So that is one of the reasons that determinate is pretty popular. And indeterminate is one that's a climbing vine usually and produces throughout the year. So let's go through some of the people I buy from, and I'll start with an old one. I don't even know if these people are still in business here. I can't see if you can see that, but heirloomseeds.com, and these are some of the Aunt Ruby German Green, Old Brooks tomatoes, and Yellow Pear tomatoes that I've grown in the past, and I got some planted. Then a very popular one is Seed Savers Exchange. I do a black from Tula from them. I do a black from Tula from Baker's Creek. And I also did a black from Tula from somebody else. Some of the Toli tomatoes, I did a black from Toli tomatoes, that's right. And the Sun Sugar Hybrid yellow tomatoes I did from them. And I haven't tried these Henderson's Pink Ponderosa, but they're supposed to be really, really good and grow big. So I'm not a total heirloom tomato guy. I do plant some hybrids just because I can get some great big red tomatoes for my tenderloin sandwiches in the summertime, and just try the different things. Then we have the Seed Savers. Again, Dr. Witchy Wyke is what... if you guys haven't been to Roots and Refuge on YouTube, you need to go visit her channel. Her and her husband own a little small farm in Arkansas, and she is got millions of subscribers because she's good in the camera. He's good in the camera, and they're doing it right. They're the little small farmer who's growing pigs, goats, milking goats, and just doing it right. And I applaud them. Also has some Italian heirlooms from there. And then I tried this year, I'm trying Fruition Seeds. They are out of New York. And I tried some Paul Roberson. I've got some growing there. And then I have Gurney's, which is a big commercial person. The reason I bought these, there's some Sun Gold hybrids too. The reason I bought these because that's where I bought most of my mats for my heating mats for my seeds. And then if you really want to try some different stuff, Seed Davidley. And you can get your Seed Davidley catalog. Just go to their website and order it. But this is what it's the top I tore off. It's Franchi, Franchi, and I'm talking about the great big Pomodoro San Marzanos. They're really long and they're really good and they're great for pizzas and stuff like that. And then a regular canning tomato, Pantano, is a really sweet with green shoulders. Seed Davidley. Let's talk about Seed Davidley for a second. I want to tell you. I should have had this turned to the page, but they have different kinds of Italian tomatoes, and I've loved everything I've ever bought from these people. You can buy some of the seeds at Pinkerton's nursery in Lawrence, Kansas, if you're from around Kansas. And actually, the order for them, you can order from Lawrence, Kansas. If you can read that address, I'll leave it there for a second so you can copy it down. That is their address. But what I want to tell you is one of my favorite things to eat is fried squash blossoms. And they have if you like fried squash blossoms, they have this right here. You need to plant those right there. You can see they are bred to produce lots of very large flowers for cooking, pick often to prevent fruit set and encourage more blossoms. What I love to do is go pick those, clip them off, take them back, take the pesto out of them, wash the bugs out of them if you have them. You can put ricotta cheese in there with prosciutto or ham or whatever you want, or just cheese by itself, and then put them in a batter and fry them, and then dip them in marinara sauce. And they are unbelievable. So that's one of the things about Seed Davidley. Their beans, all these things from Seed Davidley are really good. Heirloom Gardener. If you haven't seen this magazine, you might want to check it out. Talks about bee population. Bee population for pollinating heirlooms is very low, but one thing that I learned in the last couple of years is that if you plant a companion crop of basil close by, bees love basil. Bees, they love to, once it goes to seed, they'll attack it and pollinate your heirloom tomatoes. And then, for example, we have Johnny Seeds. Johnny Seeds has all kinds of heirlooms. They have all kinds of hybrids. And some of the things that make me really leery, you talk about hybrids, and then you have all these people that are mutating one heirloom with another heirloom, and they're calling it something, combine the names. That actually turns into being an heirloom.